Hello everyone, welcome back to Math Specs. My name is Stephanie and today we're going to learn how to solve equations with variables on both sides. So here we're asked to solve 7b plus 21 is equal to negative 2b plus 54. So what I'm going to do is I notice that I have 7b here. I have this variable and this coefficient here, and then I also have this one here, one on the left and one on the right. So I'm going to combine them. So what that means is I'm going to move all of my variables to one side of the equal sign. So what I'm going to do is move my negative 2b to the left-hand side of the equation because I want my variable to be positive. So I am going to add 2b since this is minus, and I do the inverse, and then these will cancel, and I am actually left with 9b plus 21 is equal to 54. And we've seen these kinds of equations before. And in order to solve for this, we would simply use our inverse operations. So for example, here we're adding 21. So we would subtract 21 from both sides. These would cancel, and I can bring down my variable and the coefficient, my equal sign, and this would give me 33. And now I have to undo this multiplication. So I would divide by 9. And so my answer would, and then, well, these 9s would cancel, and b would equal 33 over 9. That would be our solution for this. Okay, let's continue to more examples. So here we have 40 minus 5y is equal to 3y. And if you notice, we have a variable and a coefficient here, and a variable and a coefficient here. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can move the negative 5y to the right-hand side, or you can move the 40 over and then move the 3y, whichever one you would like. I'm actually going to move the 5y to the right-hand side. So I am going to add 5y to both sides. And then these will cancel, and I can bring down my 40, my equal sign, and 3y plus 5y, well, that's going to be 8y. Now to undo this multiplication of 8 times y, I divide by 8. And then I can write 5 is equal to y, or you can write y is equal to 5. Okay? So let's go ahead and continue to the next example. Here we have 3x minus 10 plus 4x is equal to 5x minus 7. And I notice that I have variables here and here, two variables on the left-hand side and one variable on the right-hand side. So what I'm first going to do is combine these two on the left-hand side. So 3x plus 4x will give me 7x, and I can write everything else that I have. And now I can combine this variable with this variable, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna move the 5x over to the left-hand side because I wanna keep everything positive. So I'm gonna subtract negative 5x from both sides. And here I have 7x minus 5x, that's gonna give me 2x, and then I can bring everything else down. And now I can solve this as we've solved these equations before. I'm going to add 10 to both sides here to undo the subtraction. Then I can bring everything else down to x is equal to positive 3. And now I can undo this multiplication of 2. And so these 2's will cancel. X will be equal to 3/2. Okay, so let's continue to the next example. Here we have 3 times x plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 6. So in order to solve this, I'm actually going to distribute this 3 into this, this quantity right here. So 3x plus 6 is what I'm going to get after I distribute, and that will be equal to 3x plus 6 on the right-hand side. Now, something interesting is going to happen here. When I move a 3x, whether it's from the right to the left or from the left to the right, see if you can catch it. So I'm going to actually move this over. And so this 3x and this minus 3x will cancel. And on the left-hand side also, this positive 3x and this minus 3x will cancel. And I am left with 6 is equal to 6. Now, is this a true statement? Is 6 always equal to 6? Yes, that's true. So this means that the original equation is an identity. And it also means that all the values of x are solutions. Okay. Let's go ahead to the next slide so we can learn some new definitions. So we can have different numbers of solutions when we're solving equations. And we have seen linear equations that only have one solution. So when we, do all of our work, we are left with, a very specific number, x is equal to 2, and that is one solution for that equation. But there are some linear equations that have no solutions. So we would see something, for example, like 4 is equal to 6, and we know that that's not true. So that would be no solution. Okay, but what about what we just learned right now? We learned of an equation that has many solutions, and we call that an identity. An identity is an equation that is true for all values of the variable, so all values of x. Okay, so in this example, in this kind of practice, we're going to solve all of these equations if possible, and we're going to determine, does it have one solution, does it have no solution, or does it have many solutions? Is it an identity? So I'm going to start with A here, and I'm going to distribute this 3 into this parentheses. So 3x plus 6 going to equal to 3x plus 6. And now I'm going to move all my variables to one side. And hopefully this looks familiar because we just did this example. So my 3x's here will cancel on the right, and they will also cancel on the left. Now I'm left with 6 is equal to 6, and we just said that this is an identity. Well, the original equation is identity, so there are many solutions. Okay. Now for B, we have 3x plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 4, and we have to solve and determine how many solutions there are. So I'm going to distribute again. So I'm going to have 3x plus 6 is equal to 3x plus 4. Now I'm going to move my variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract negative 3x like this, and they both cancel. And I am left with 6 is equal to 4. Is that true? No, that is not true. So then this has no solution. Okay. And for C, I have 3x, 3 times x plus 2 is equal to 2x plus 4. So again, I'm going to distribute this. So 3x plus 6 is equal to 2x plus 4. I'm going to move over this 2x to the left-hand side. I'm going to subtract. Then this will give me x. And then I can bring down my plus 6 and my 4. Now I can solve for x by subtracting 6 from both sides. And I am left with x is equal to negative 2. So this means that there is one solution for this equation. Okay. Hopefully you've learned something new today about the different kinds of solutions, the different number of solutions that an equation can have, an identity equation, or situations where we have no solutions. And what we've seen is when there is only one solution. So let's continue. So we've reached the end of today's lesson. Today we learned all about equations with variables on both sides and how to solve for them. And we've also learned about the different situations that we can encounter with no solutions, equations having many solutions, or only one solution. Thank you so much for your time and attention today, and we will see each other in the next video.